6:42 in the morning, a frantic team calls for help. Her boyfriend has been shot and she is pregnant. Police secure the home, expecting a tragedy. But nothing prepares them for what comes next. Her own mother is acting strangely. When the truth emerges, every bond shatters. How did a family crisis turn into an unthinkable betrayal? Radio crackles cut through the early morning quiet. Dispatch reports Unit 231 respond. Possible shooting. 17-year-old female, pregnant, caller hysterical. The timestamp on the CAD screen reads 064211. Patrol cars race down residential streets, tires biting at the curve as officers coordinate over open channels. Perimeter, east side secure, west entry covered, awaiting breach command. Officers move with practiced urgency, hands hovering near holsters, eyes scanning every window and shadow. The house stands still, porch light flickering, a heavy silence pressing against the squad car doors. One officer radios in, voice tight. No movement at the front. Family reported inside. EMS staged, not yet cleared. Another officer relays. North alley blocked, no sign of suspect egress. The perimeter locks down in under 2 minutes. Every step, every order follows protocol, no assumptions, no shortcuts. The first officer approaches the threshold. Badge catching the dawn. He waits for the all clear, pulse steady, knowing the next moment could change everything. The front door swings open, hinges groaning in the stillness. The pregnant teen stands frozen at the threshold, eyes wide, breath shallow. Her boyfriend's body lies sprawled on the living room floor, blood pooling, limbs twisted. A sight so sudden it barely feels real. A sharp cry escapes her, more animal than human, and her knees buckle. Officers rush to catch her, voices low and urgent. She clutches her stomach and whispers, "My baby, please, is my baby okay?" Her hands tremble as she tries to steady herself, gaze fixed past the officers, unable to look away, yet unable to process what she is seeing. The world narrows to a tunnel of muffled sounds and flashing lights. One officer kneels beside her and radios for emergency medical services to clear the area. Another gently asks her name, but she does not answer. Her mind caught in a loop, lips moving silently, lost somewhere between shock and instinct. Medical protocol takes over. They check her pulse, ask about contractions, scan for signs of distress. She barely registers their questions, repeating that he is not moving, as if saying it might change the truth. The room fills with the static hum of radios and the hurried footsteps of paramedics, but for her, time has slowed to a crawl. A car screeches to a stop behind the police line. The mother steps out, hair pulled back, face tense and unreadable. She moves fast, pushing past the tape, calling her daughter's name. Officers intercept her, hands raised, but she barely slows. Her eyes dart from the officers to her daughter, then to the body on the floor. She reaches for her daughter, voice cracking. When an officer steps in with a question, her tone shifts. Sudden, sharp, almost defensive. She insists she does not know what happened. Words tumbling over each other. The officer's notebook catches the details, her hands shaking, her gaze flickering from the blood to the door. In one breath, she is comforting. In the next, she is demanding to know why the police are inside her home. An officer notes the quick mood changes. Concern morphs into irritation, then back again. She shields her daughter with one arm, but when pressed, she pulls away, refusing to answer. The air thickens with suspicion, unspoken but heavy, as the officers exchange glances and jot down every detail. Detective Morales steps over the threshold, boots crunching on shattered glass. He calls out the time, 6:48 and 22 seconds, into his recorder, then signals for the evidence tech to begin. A camera flashes as they capture the living room from every angle. Blood patterns, a toppled chair, and a cell phone abandoned near the body. Each item receives a numbered marker, part of the evidence process. Morales kneels beside a spent shell casing and dictates item 12, 9mm. Recovered adjacent to the victim's right hand. The technician snaps a close-up, logs the description, and slides the casing into a paper envelope. Morales initials the seal, then hands it off for immediate bagging. Gloves are changed between each item. Every step is recorded in the chain of custody ledger: time, collector, description, exact location. The firearm found wedged beneath the sofa is cleared and bagged separately, the tag double-checked for serial number. Photos are reviewed on a digital tablet, each image time-stamped and cross-referenced to the evidence log. Morales pauses only to confirm the scene sketch matches the placement of markers. Nothing leaves the room without a signature, a label, and a sealed bag. The process is slow and methodical, designed to leave no question about what was found, when, or by whom. Detective Morales stands in the hallway, scrolling through the phone covered near the bottom. A judge's signature flashes on the warrant, authorizing full extraction of call logs, text messages, and GPS data. Lab technicians download the device's contents, each file tagged with exact timestamps. The digital timeline builds on a laptop screen. A string of messages, some desperate, some cold. One message sent at 6:17 a.m., just before the shooting, reads, "If he comes near her again, I will end this." The escalation is clear, the threat unmistakable. Investigators cross-reference the phone's location history. At 6:41 a.m., a GPS ping places the phone at the house, matching the computer-aided dispatch entry for the 911 call. Another ping, minutes earlier, places the device at an intersection blocks away, contradicting the mother's claim that she never left home that morning. A chart maps the movements, each dot a silent witness. Morales points to the screen. Voice low. "She was here. The data does not lie. The evidence is not just physical anymore. Every byte, every coordinate, sharpens the bows of the investigation, tightening the circle around the suspect as the team prepares for questioning." Detective Morales sits across from the mother in a windowless interview room. A digital recorder blinks red on the table. The clock reads 9:13. A juvenile officer stands by the door, clipboard in hand, watching every exchange. The recorder is active, and the room is quiet. Morales begins by reading the Miranda warning, each phrase measured and clear. "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law." Morales asks if she understands, and he waits for her answer before continuing. The mother nods, eyes fixed on the table, hands clenched in her lap. Silent is the word that hangs in the air. He slides a folder across the table, its tab marked Social Media Evidence. Inside are screenshots of Facebook messages and a printout of a tip received through a direct message. Morales points to a highlighted line, a conversation where the mother coordinated with her son about meeting the victim. The mother denies it in a rush. "That's not what happened. I never sent that." Morales holds up a transcript from a jail phone call, time-stamped the previous week, where her voice is unmistakable, discussing what to say if questioned. Tension builds as her story shifts. First she claims she was home, then she says she stepped out for coffee. The contradictions pile up, one after another. Evidence on the table keeps coming into focus. The juvenile officer quietly reminds her of her rights, noting the presence of her daughter in the next room and the need for a guardian during questioning. Morales presses on, voice steady, laying out each inconsistency, each timeline, each message. The mother's composure begins to crack, her answers growing clipped, her gaze darting to the door. Every word is recorded, every pause documented. The interview tightens. The room grows smaller, and the conversation moves closer to formal charges. Recorded and unambiguous. The material on the table will shape what happens next. A nurse wheels the team through automatic doors. Her hospital bracelet is already printed. The intake team moves quickly, checking her vitals and asking about the baby. A prenatal specialist listens for a heartbeat, then orders a full exam. The teen's face remains blank, eyes fixed on the ceiling as they measure her blood pressure and start a fetal monitor. A social services representative stands nearby, clipboard in hand, reviewing the incident report. Child Protective Services is notified within the hour, as required for any minor involved in a violent crime. Temporary guardianship paperwork is filed, naming a relative as emergency contact until the investigation is complete. The social worker explains each step in simple terms, voice gentle but firm, making sure the teen understands her rights and what will happen next. Every action is documented: medical charts, referral forms, chain of custody for personal effects. The focus never leaves the teen's well-being, even as the legal process begins to move around her. Booking paperwork is completed at 13:27. The case number stamped in bold, 2305904. The mother is fingerprinted, photographed, and her personal belongings are listed in the property ledger. Each item is bagged and tagged and signed by both the booking officer and the evidence technician. The official charge, second-degree murder, is entered into the system, triggering an automated notice to the district attorney's office. Detective Morales delivers the sealed evidence packet to the courthouse intake window, logging the transfer in the digital chain of custody. The prosecutor's staff signed for the file, confirming receipt of the firearm, shell casing, phone data, and interview transcripts. Every step is documented, from the initial arrest to the last signature on the evidence log. A case summary appears on the prosecutor's dashboard within the hour. For those seeking help, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is available at 1-800-7997-233. The process moves forward, now in the hands of the court. Every year, United States law enforcement logs more than 1,500 cases of family-involved homicide. When violence enters the home, trust fractures in ways legal systems cannot repair. The real crisis is not what is uncovered. It is what remains hidden behind closed doors. Tell us what stays with you in the comments.